Okay, and I think with that we're live. Okay, the reason the camera angle is weird is because I have the game on the second monitor and I have to like twist the webcam a little bit. Hope that's okay. Before we begin, I just wanna see if the podcast is live on my channel. It should be. I don't see anything. Yes, it's live. It is live. Thank you. Okay, hello everyone. It is I, Ted Fox. We're playing some Disco Elysium, and just to check the chat right now. Okay, I'm gonna have the chat right here. Just very quickly, let me just take care of that. Okay, I handle that. Okay, hi. We're playing some Disco Elysium because I didn't want it to go to bed, despite the fact that I slept for like just 1 hour or something. But anyway, here I am. This Disco Elysium, this game, I suppose, is like kind of my cope game recently. You know, it's my second favorite game, but it has just turned into my cope game for some reason. I don't know. I think it embodies this feeling of like loneliness, despite of course Harry being followed by Kim all the time. But I think it embodies this feeling of like loneliness, and I've been feeling pretty bad recently. So here we are. Okay, we're playing hardcore. I think we are. At this point in the case, I think we're just following up on some leads. I have yet to inspect the body. Okay, I have to wait for the waterlock on Wednesday. We have a couple of days until that. And the kind of roleplay I'm doing in this particular playthrough is of a more serious, sober-aware Harry. What I'm trying to do is that I'll try not to ask many questions about the amnesia or about the whole incident. And I'm not trying to pretend like the amnesia didn't happen, because it's a pivotal part of the story, of the main story specifically. But I'll try to stay away from asking questions or mentioning the amnesia in the first place. I mentioned it to Kim, but I'll try not to mention it to anyone else.
That sugary black rum stain on the counter makes you teary-eyed with joy. It's almost touching how syrupy and sticky it is. How long have you been up already?
Rum is disgusting. Not now.
Oh, excuse me. Do you have something better to do than lust for sweet syrupy rum and lemon? With a twist of lemon? Maybe lime. Maybe who cares? Just rum.
I'm gonna finish a thought. I'm not gonna consume any alcohol or drugs. I'm trying to be a clear person in this particular picture. The dishes are drying. They smell of chemicals and pine trees. An aroma of spices, alcohol, and tomato hangs in the air.
You see a heavy steel door with a prominent dimple lock. It's painted blue. You immediately feel drawn to the color. Blue is for mystery.
Is it the color of mystery? This coffee is pretty bad. We're gonna touch the door.
The cobalt blue surface feels rough to touch. The stainless steel door is flush with its frame on every side. Old cobalt paint, rough on the fingers. 40, 50 years since this was painted, maybe.
I love how descriptive all of the dialogue options are. It's just amazing. We're gonna try to push the door.
The door does not budge.
I wonder where this door leads.
You do? It's a door in the back of the kitchen. Why do you care where it leads?
We're gonna say I am drawn to this cobalt blue. Or we can say it's part of the world in rags. There's something about this place that makes me want to know. Out of duty, we may find something pertinent to the investigation. You're right. It's not important. Let's go. We're gonna say I am drawn to its cobalt blue.
It is quite pretty. I suppose we could look into it as a side investigation.
Yes, a mini site investigation.
Gart is the person to ask about this. The cafeteria manager.
Right on. We're gonna. Oh, there's a box here. There's some real. And then there's a cook
A
here.
thin man is smoking below an exhaust hood, occasionally sipping from his mug. This must be the Whirling's cook. As you step in, he nods toward the table and says something in a completely foreign language. The only words you can make out are Garancy and Kubek. Okay, it's definitely not his name. Whatever you do, please don't call him Garancy Kubek. Please, it's not funny.
Hello, sir. Got time for a few questions?
The man puts his cup down and replies something, his left hand drawing arcs in the air.
You've got some impressive pots here.
He smiles and bangs his ladle against each of his pots in turn. It's almost like music, especially with the sounds of assorted dishes boiling and simmering on the stove.
Do you know what's behind that door? And we
He
can
looks
point to the
up
blue
at you,
door.
then looks away quickly, shrugging and muttering something to himself. Shrugging is an international sign for, no, I don't know what's behind that door.
Okay, I don't think I need anything else. Stay masculine. That's a pretty strange thing to say, but I suppose it's okay. That's what I love about Harry's character. That no matter how much of a serious detective you try to play, there's still this this very quirky and very weird dialogue responses that just they're so ridiculous and unnatural and cheesy. I love them. I love them so much. No one else in this game in this world could say them other than Harry. Before we continue, I wanted to pick up some of the bottles now that I have my frit back. I think I could pick some of the bottles up. Yes, I can. Kim, can you... Okay, thank you. Take that. We can take this as well. There's another one here. Okay, nothing. What about this one? For some reason I can't pick the one that's on the floor and it bothers me. Neither the ones that are in the cassette deck. Kim tries not to look at your broken down bathroom door.
Kim also tries not to look at the pile of taped viscera on the carpet, or the weird suitcase on the hat rack, or the potted plant dying in the corner. But it's all just too morbid to ignore.
It's I mean it's clearly impossible to ignore this, right? And it's very poetic at the same time. I did it my way. This is where the magic happens, or we can say I'm sorry for this. Or you're looking at the destruction. Of course he's looking at the destruction. We're gonna say nothing and nod stoically.
He takes a step toward the door, like he'd like to leave.
I'm sorry, Kim. We'll be out of here soon. Just need to check if I can change my expression and then we'll leave.
A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. In it, your face, adorned with the expression.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, the expression. Oh, it's an electrochemistry check. I thought it was the other way around, you know, like I thought it was an interfacing check. use your chain cutters to fix the faucet steam. Sorry, stop steam from fogging up the mirror. Fogging up the mirror. We're gonna try to do that. Wait, I already have the chain cutters. So we're just gonna quick save. I'm not gonna load the game if I lose the
A mirror
dice,
hangs on the bathroom wall.
but we're just gonna try it.
In it, the faucet is quite terribly mangled,
Success.
but you just might be able to twist its parts into place.
Okay.
You handle the chain cutters deftly, applying just enough pressure. The faucet regains a recognizable shape. The steam stops.
Nice.
Told you that you needed those chain cutters. Everything is connected. Everything has a purpose.
And that is true.
The mirror begins to clear slowly without you having to wipe it.
Nice. I think that made easier a different check, but I don't remember which one. We're gonna try. Oh, this increases the chances of us attempting to stop the expression. We're gonna quick save again just because I fixed the faucet, and then
The
we're
mirror
gonna do
hangs
this.
on the bathroom wall. It's barely. It's too
Yeah.
late. Like an image on film. The expression belongs to your primary motor cortex. It would take a minor neurological miracle for you to cease producing it.
I find this actually kind of depressing because I mean, Harry is clearly not in like a good state in his life at this particular moment. Not that he remembers anything, but yet he got so accustomed to making that expression, right? To like make this like fake smile and pretend that everything is okay when it is clearly not. And I mean, nobody's forcing you to have this like face, I suppose, but he just got so accustomed to do that, you know. I find that a little bit sad. I mean, it's funny. His face is funny. It's pretty funny. I think it was the intended purpose, but I think it's pretty sad too. I wanted to ask Garth about the cobalt door. I think we can ask
Can I
him.
help you?
Oh yeah, the trash container key.
Thanks. I hope you found what you were looking for.
I found the victim's clothes.
How strange. I certainly didn't put them there.
I certainly didn't put them there. Maybe you don't remember putting them there. Maybe you were sleepwalking or in a fugue state. Could someone on your staff have put them there? Who else has the keys to the trash container? We can ask that because the trash container was locked, so somebody put them in there and then they locked it.
The trash collection service? CS Municipal. I don't see why they would put anything in the trash, though.
Ah, the elusive CS Municipal. I doubt we'll be able to track down who was sent here last and when. This will have to be one of those little threats that solves itself down the road. Thank you anyway.
Okay, thanks. Let's talk about something else.
Yes.
No, we're not gonna mention the blue door just yet. Kuna is not gonna know anything, and I don't wanna go around and like try to get something out of Kuna. We have a perk point. I've already put one in composure. I don't remember if I wanted to put another one in drama or another one in logic, or if I wanted to bump up one of the other ones in psyche. But for now, I think for now, we're just gonna put one in visual calculus as well. I think having visual calculus it's pretty important in this game. What else? Okay, I think we're done for the whirling racks. We can do a few things. We can try and get the corpse down, but I think we're gonna need a little bit more skill points to pass some of the checks. And I would rather have my official name so I can put it in the report. Or we can attempt to get the body down at first. I mean, before filing the report. Or we can do the Doom commercial area. Or we can talk to Joyce. Or we can do the Petanque site thingy. We're gonna do the Doom commercial area. I think it's a pretty funny quest. I really like it. We're gonna ignore the books for now. One thing about the bookstore and the whole book thingy here in Disco Elysium is that it is pretty overwhelming, right? I mean, I think that was the intended I guess purpose. I mean, this game can be pretty overwhelming in general if you're not accustomed to like those old school style of RPGs, but um the books in particular for me are extremely overwhelming. We're gonna talk to this lady first.
Welcome to Crime, Romance, and Biographies of Famous People. My name is Plaisance. Be welcome, and please take responsibility for the energy you bring into this space.
What a weird thing to say to someone, huh? Before we go on, you seem to be well off enough. Can you give me some can you give me money options? I've never picked anyone. I mean, they're just so. I mean, I don't even know how to interpret it. You know, it's just like so bizarre. Like, hey, can you give me money? It's so weird. I don't understand like the purpose of this. Not saying that it shouldn't exist. I'm glad it's there, but I just don't understand it. You know. So are you the owner of this store?
I am the proudest owner of our little shop of culture.
Oh yeah, we talked to her via the doorbell. The girl outside mentioned that this place is cursed. Your daughter is the one standing outside the store, right? We're gonna say that.
Annette, yes, my daughter. I hope she wasn't slacking off again with her nose in science fiction.
My
Tell
daughter.
me, was she at her post, doing her job like a proper girl?
Proper. I like the mix of accents in this game. There are a lot of people who speak like with this very strong French accent, and then there's this like British or I suppose European type of accent. I don't know how to explain it, but there's like this British accent, and then there's this pretty European accent that I can't nail down where is it from. But it's pretty interesting. I like the mix of accents. We're gonna say yes, of course. She was doing her job, and you get all riled up about it.
Wonderful. Did you talk to her?
Yes.
Great. On a scale of 1 to 10, how compelled were you to buy books after talking with her?
You're using your daughter as a survey. That's not good. We're gonna say 10. She's certainly very polite and helpful.
My precious. Her dedication brings joy to my
no.
heart. If you have children, I hope they turn out as great as my Annette.
I was just gonna say something, but I'll just keep it to myself. The last option was I'm not gonna rate a human being or something like that. I should have gone with that because it's pretty bad. Come on, you didn't do that. But I mean, at least I didn't say anything bad about Annette. I'm here to dismantle the free market and abolish child labor. Or we can say all this pressure has made her really anxious. You know, she's been chewing her nails.
God. I've told her not to do that. It's such a disgusting habit. She'll get over it. Anxiety is a part of life.
What's disgusting is the way you don't try to understand your child. I don't think she can do anything about it.
She can, if she has enough willpower.
Damn.
This is what's called growing pains. Life isn't easy. Life doesn't give breaks.
It's like telling a depressed person, hey, don't be depressed.
Come on, ma'am. It's obvious she can't do anything about it. You are placing an unnecessary burden on a young child.
That is right. Kim chimes in with his perfect comment. What you're doing is wrong. Even I know that, and I usually don't know anything. We're not gonna say that. We can say that is true, and obviously the will of the market, but maybe make an exception for your daughter. Or you can say, yeah, actually it's super alright for kids to chew their hands off. Forget I said anything. We're gonna say this, although I would prefer if Harry didn't mention that he doesn't usually know anything, because he does.
She stands stiff and severe, silently fuming. 10 or so seconds pass without change.
Can you imagine this in real life? Like, you said this to someone, and then straight up 10 seconds pass and no one says anything, but she's like clearly mad at you, but she won't say anything.
She's looking for one, but there simply aren't any good arguments for being an asshole.
I love rhetoric.
Oh no. Hold on. I need to invite her inside and apologise. She must be freezing out there.
Yes, do that.
There. I don't know what to say to you. My husband, he tries to teach me business lessons. I have what my mother called a dull mind. All this stress.
She stops, but her mouth keeps moving. Is this husband Annette's father? Is she an only child? She told me she doesn't go to school anymore. We're gonna say, is this husband Annette's father?
Yes, my husband is a successful entrepreneur east of the river.
Entrepreneur.
If only he were more involved in the business we're running up here. No matter. Soon we'll both be off for Grand Couronne.
Grand Couronne. That must be a region. One of the things that I didn't cut about Disco Elysium was like all of the regions and like the rest of the world, I suppose. And your husband's also involved with the bookstore?
He made the initial investment. Since then, he's been what you might call a silent partner.
Super silent. Almost inaudibly so.
We're gonna say, is she an only child?
Yes, I'm afraid so. A real treat she is. It would be nice if she had... No, we couldn't have afforded more children, really. Not in this economy.
This is something very interesting. At least she considers the economy before bringing more children to the world.
A glimmer of sadness blinks through the well-crafted exterior.
Of course, yes, this economy.
Exactly.
She told me she doesn't go to school anymore.
She's been too busy helping me here. So she studied at home this trimester. This is a temporary solution, of course. I assure you, I of all people understand the importance of education. She will be back in school the moment the store takes off.
And hell freezes over? Never mind. It's not a good topic to get into.
Alright, I had something else in mind.
The woman looks aloof. Her features much softer. Occasionally she glances at her daughter's silhouette.
Well, farewell for now, book peddler. Alright, we're gonna get into the, Oh, there she is. I didn't see her.
I'm sorry, sir. I can't talk right now. I'm very busy with my homework. I have so much homework now.
Yes, Annette, that's better.
Just can't win. Out of the rain and into the gutter.
What are you doing now?
Math. It's really difficult. Like, really. They say you need it to get rich. Better than standing outside in the cold, I guess. Oh, I found something while you were away.
What is it?
I thought this would fit you. Like, thanks for helping out. Not me. The city, I mean. Like a detective does.
Wait, where did you get it?
Just what Dick Mullen would ask. I got it from behind the curtains. I'm not really supposed to go there.
Oh. Okay, I get it. I can look just like Dick Mullen, except I'm an actual police officer.
Yes, I bet it looks good on you. Really serious. Right, I have to get back to my homework now. Before Mum notices. Man, this is hard.
She looks back at the infernal scribblings under her nose. Okay, bye. See you around, Annette. Right on. And I think we're gonna put on our Dick Mullen hat. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. He looks so goofy with the gigantic coat. We're gonna save. I wanna open the curtains, but I don't know.
The curtains, tattered with age and covered in dust, hang before you, as if taunting you.
We're gonna pull them open.
Just as you're about to pull apart the curtains, the petrified voice of the shop owner cries out once more.
Sir, don't touch that. I told you it's off limits for the customers.
Her pendant. Her hand has closed around her pendant. Her fingers nervously playing with the talisman.
Parapsychologically speaking, we're done if you decide to open them. I won't be held responsible for the consequences. It's too dangerous.
You're a jerk anyway.
She looks away, mumbling. Why is everyone always messing with the curtains? Why can't they just buy books like normal people?
Ma'am, this is different. I'm a police officer. I need to get in there. I love how the game like sprinkles in this dialogue options about like being a police person. But since this place is calling for me, I must investigate beyond the threshold. I don't care, you can stop me, I'll open them. We're gonna say, this about the curse, that's why you're afraid?
No, it's just a storeroom for the employees, I told you.
No, it's not.
Now please, step away from the curtains.
But I sense this place is calling for me. I must investigate beyond the threshold.
You do? My God, even more reasons not to mess with the curtains. Just step away, dear sir.
Alright, I'll think about it for a while.
Thank you. Let's just talk about this first, all right? There's no reason for you to venture into the unknown.
Talking is always good. Go see what she has to say. There is something mysterious about the curtains. Be careful. The curtains, tattered with age and covered in dust, hang before.
Okay, we're gonna ignore it and we're gonna go talk to Plaisance before opening them.
Hello again, esteemed officer, and welcome to Crime, Romance, and Biographies of Famous People.
This coffee is pretty bad. Why are you so uptight about these curtains? I just want to know what's on the other side.
I already told you, it's just a storage room for
No, it's not a
employees.
storage room.
I don't understand why it's so important to you.
Why is it so important that I don't open the curtain?
Just let it go, officer. Go buy some goddamn books. You're supposed to be drawn to the books.
She recites it like it's a poem, or like she's playing a role she's grown tired of. She's so tense, it's a miracle she hasn't snapped in half yet.
Why are you still talking about books? Are you trying to put a spell on me? Or we can say, if it is just a storage room, then why are you so tense? Or we can say, if it's just a storage room, then why does it have a 70s ward protecting it? If it's just a storage room, then it wouldn't hurt if I just peeked inside. It's not like it's cursed, right? Okay. We're gonna say if it's just a storage room, then why are you so tense?
I'm not tense. I'm just...
She wavers under your gaze, mouth pressed into a tight-lipped frown. Then something breaks.
Okay, fine. It's just because this place is cursed. Just like everyone said. They don't call it the doomed commercial area for nothing. Are you happy now, officer? Happy that you've ruined everything?
She closes her eyes and starts mumbling something to her pendant. Why didn't you just tell me that right away it's the curse? Have you sought help from anyone? How does this curse manifest itself? We're just gonna ask the second option.
It's not good to talk about the curse, not in detail. The negativism, it's dangerous. Talking about the void wraiths angers them.
Wow. Void raves. You have new words.
How does this curse... I don't want to ask this. Because it's like, I don't know. But we're gonna be respectful to her and we're gonna say, how does this curse manifest itself?
The curse is so much worse than you could imagine. It's a disease, eating at the very foundation.
A shiver runs through the woman as she looks around the dimly lit store.
It's the curse of financial distress, of ruin and bankruptcy.
She peers at the curtains again.
Didn't that curtain just move?
Okay, I'm a little confused. What does that mean? Or we can say, Annette mentioned that the previous tenants have experienced some financial troubles. Wait, that's it? I was hoping for something more paranatural. We're gonna say, Annette mentioned that the previous tenants have experienced some financial troubles.
It's not just that, officer. We're dealing with something supernatural here.
Supernatural.
It's a pack of demons feeding off bad business practices and disappointing income statements. There's something wrong with this building, I can tell you. Ever since I arrived, I've sensed an eerie, lingering presence, as if I was unwanted here.
Would you like me to take the case? I could investigate, see if the curse is real. Or we can say, I don't think the curse is real. I just want you to let me in there. We're gonna offer ourselves to investigate.
Most certainly not. I don't want anyone who's not familiar with the psychic arts to get involved in this mess. Stay away. Leave the spirits be, so they can return to their slumber.
My liege, You know what this case calls for? A para-detective.
We have 5 drama and we have 2 points extra because we helped Ned. It's a 92% check, it's high, but knowing it's Disco Elysium, I'm afraid I might fail it. We're gonna say convince her to let you investigate the Doom commercial area.
Slither up to her, you silver-tongued fiend. Show her what world-class perfidy looks like.
Silver tongue fiend. Wait, what if I don't want to lie? I mean, she'll believe anything. Ma'am, I came here to help. I've handled paranatural situations before.
Are you sure? Don't think I haven't seen charlatans before.
I sense the psychic emanations from afar. The sleeper beyond calls out. Or we can say, I have returned from the void, a para-detective from a long line of para-detectives. we're gonna say that we sense this.
I'm not sure I can trust your claims. Honestly, you look like a bit of a drinker. I'm sorry for being so blunt, but...
The lieutenant keeps his usual stony calm. He silently picks out his notebook.
I admit, I've had my share of drinks, but only because the spectral realm is parapsychologically taxing. Or we can say, you see, it's necessary to drink the spirits in order to contact the void. We're gonna say the first one.
How do you know all this?
Here we go.
This is utterly ridiculous. Your words brought me here in the first place. The Semini's blood also runs through me. I am the Void Revenant. I have the powers of the... I have powers to debat all the bad energies. We're gonna say the first one.
You're part Simonese. Oh, it means our meeting couldn't have been mere chance. But I am not the only one at risk. I have to think of my daughter. You are certain you can help us? Keep us safe? I can't allow any collateral damage to hit us.
Just as my partner Kim. He'll vouch for me.
Oh,
The lieutenant mumbles in minor confusion. He has not been listening closely enough. You put him on the spot.
certainly so, ma'am. I can assure you my partner is eminent in this particular field.
If you promise, good officer, then you might be our last hope. Do you swear it?
A hand on your heart. On my honor. Actually, I'm not really feeling the vibe anymore. The psychic force has left me. We're gonna say that.
Thank you,
On my
sir.
honor.
There's one more thing I haven't told you about yet. The entity.
The entity.
Do not act surprised. You know of these things, sire.
Of course, the entity, and we can close our eyes, for I have sensed its presence.
You have? The entity takes the form of a woman, a witch probably. I've suspected that she must be connected to the curse ever since I first saw her. Did you know that she lives inside the chimney?
Chimneys aren't big enough for that. Chimney, the passage between heaven and hell. Of course.
Yes, that chimney is part of the building's central furnace, and it's enormous. She has barricaded herself behind some metal security curtains. God knows what she's doing there. Some unnatural magic, I assume. You should go find the entity and ask what happened to all the companies in the building. What is the source of this curse? Here's the key to the warded door behind the curtains. Take it. Oh, and please do return to me after you've looked round. I'm quite anxious to know what she has to say about the curse. What you discover in there.
Wait, hold on. Okay.
Unbelievable darkness and ruin. What you discover? Probably just some office space. Don't be scared.
Okay, farewell for now. Book peddler. Okay, we're gonna go investigate the curse.
You see a set of tattered curtains blocking the way to another room. A strange cage-like trinket dangles from the curtains.
We can pull the curtains open.
You see a dimly lit room full of dusty furniture and trash. A doorway stands in the back, covered in dozens of scary little Seminese wards, your shadow looming over it like an omen.
A small terrified owl escapes from Plaisance as she tries her best to look away, her round face buried in her hands. Okay, we can go inside. Ghostly silhouettes of hair dryers. A vaguely androgynous portrait of a man. This must be, it was listed in the doorbell outside the building. It was something of a, something androgynous something, but it was like a hairstylist. And then there's a door with...
A heavy door with a missing handle
this.
stands before you, covered in dozens, if not hundreds, of Seminese trinkets and charms. It appears to be locked.
We can... Okay, we can unlock the door with the key.
After exerting some force, you manage to turn the key. It's eerily silent. The door slides slightly open, letting a draft of cold air into the room.
We can say, Kim, maybe you should go first, or we can open the door and enter. There's a comment, I don't know what that means, I'm sorry. Oh, there's a dialogue option with Kim.
What is this place?
The lieutenant stares at the dusty training equipment. It's an adventure. It's the netherworld beyond the veil. Looks like a gym to me. Or I think this may be the Artemitep's boxing club for the young athletes.
I think you're right, though it looks like no one's been here in ages. I doubt the electricity still works. Good thing we have a flashlight on us. Don't forget to take it out of your bag before we move on.
An eerie feeling rises in your chest.
What if there's a reason why no one's been here for ages? Or we can say, let's just keep going. I'm sure it's just a regular abandoned house. Nothing mysterious here.
Sounds good.
Yeah, we can expect some of the equipment before moving on. Sand is dripping from a punch bag. The poster says, Citus, Fortress, the rest is worn off. We can take a shot pot ball. Worn out wall bars, they look unsafe.
A barbell lies on the floor. The color has worn off its weight plates. It's 60 kilograms. Your triceps hum at the sight of these weights. Show the world what kind of beast it's dealing with. There are no collars on the barbell. This is a safety hazard. Why does it feel so familiar?
Look, Kim, it's a trap. There are no colors on the barbell.
You're right. The weight may fall off. Better not touch it then.
What kind of a bastard would just remove the collars? It should be a felony. Actually, I don't really care about safety hazards. I'm gonna say the first one.
It would be a violation of EPIS safety regulations if the gym was still operating, but it isn't. No one's supposed to come here anymore.
We can say, is this familiar because I'm a weightlifter?
No, it's not that. It's the stale smell of rubber, the squeaky sound of sneakers, your bruised knee against the mat, and a whistle. Then the feeling is gone.
This is of course referencing Harry's past.
Just a memory.
Yes, a memory. It's very low. Alright, we're gonna save. We're gonna put up our shirt. And then we're gonna... we're gonna try to like lift this up or something. Okay, yeah, we're gonna take a health charge before doing this.
The barbell waits patiently on the floor. like a dog for its master.
We can lift the barbell. Yeah, check failed. I knew this. I knew this was gonna happen.
You manage to hoist it off the ground, but the barbell feels wobbly and dangerous. Your hands slick with sweat. Turns out you're no beast, just an old man with bad form. See? See? This place is cursed.
Whatever, weightlifting is for the intellectually impaired anyways. Seems like I'm a little out of shape, or maybe these gloves just suck. Or we can say, fuck you, you stupid barbell. We're gonna say the number 2.
Proper weightlifting gloves would definitely afford a better grip.
Or we can leave. That, oh yes, that updates the map because we can retry the check on the set of tracks and the check of endurance in the Hangman Corpse. But we're investigating the Doom commercial area, so we're just... Oh, there's a dialogue with Kim.
It's dark. And the flashlight works a lot better if you hold it in your hand.
Got it, Kim. No need to rub it in. I know, I forgot. There we go. The hallway is blocked by all window panes and debris. Wait, we're just gonna check this real quick. No, nothing. I thought we could inspect the boxing thingy, but we can't. Looks like the remains of the 24-hour window repair shop. All of the businesses we're encountering, the boxing gym and this window repair shop, they were all listed in the doorbell when we were just trying out random numbers. The music is just... wild animals stare at you in the dark, stuff and mounted. A large demijohn full of strange liquid. Ew. What's this? Airship rotors covered in spider webs. They remind you of blades. They look like giant blades to me. A naked mannequin torso, a strange yellow color. Some real in the cabinets. Blue velvet, soft to the touch, moth bitten. Some filing cabinets over here. Some more real. I know what this is. Before we... Wait. But where are the clothes you used to display? Maybe somebody just stole them or whatever. Wait, this is new. This wasn't here before. Scribble across a notebook. Developers of the most advanced RPG in the universe. This door wasn't here before. I'm playing the Final Cut, and the last time I played the game was before the Final Cut release, and I haven't played it since then. I can't talk. Is this Emma's atelier? Most likely, I think. Skis with slipstream printed on the laminated top layer. Steel rotor blades bearing a slipstream logo. We have a production schedule filament memory. This must be the slipstream part shop. So I think it was parts. We're gonna come back to that in a moment. We're just gonna do some recon over here. Shoes in a puddle of melting snow. That can mean that somebody's been using them. Postcard La Delta 51. We can knock on this door. I think we're gonna knock. We're
The
gonna try
iron
to knock.
safety curtain curves before your eyes, folded like a bellows. It covers half the room, blocking the way into a colossal industrial chimney. This must be where the entity lives.
We can knock on the door.
What an odd thing to do. Nothing happens.
Why is it odd? It seems normal to me.
Still nothing. No one's home.
We can knock even harder.
Those curtains prove to be surprisingly sturdy. Your fist hurts now.
I almost died. I literally almost died there.
If this is really an entrance to the chimney, then there must be a furnace somewhere as well. Maybe there's another way to get in.
Can you please try to refrain from attacking random things?
I need to find the malignant entity, Kim. This is a chimney. Or we can say this is not random. This is significant. I want to see what's on the other side. Or we can say I can try and blow gently on your bruised knuckles.
Thanks. In any case, there's no way we can get in right now. Let's investigate further.
We can leave. La Delta, postcard La Delta 51. The sunlight has made this postcard almost completely sepia tone. Midtown traffic passes overhead. The ghosts of skyscrapers disappear into a beige midday mist. Vapor rising from the delta on which the district was built. The postcard is prepaid. About the production schedule filament memory, the cube-like crisscross of filaments feels oddly fragile in your hand. It's an intricate structure covered in dust. Silver tape on the side reads, production schedule. Note, this filament contains information that can be read using a radio computer. We're gonna come across one of them pretty soon, I think. I was thinking this door wasn't there before, but I think it was. That just leads to the other area.
Looks like someone tried to reconceptualize their business here.
I don't get it.
Look, the skis and rotor blades both bear the same Slipstream logo. It seems likely that they started out making one, failed to turn a profit, and then pivoted to producing the other.
This business is oddly specific. They were making rotor blades, and then it didn't work, and then they started making skis. But the question is, which did they start with, and which did they pivot to? Or we can say, what a strange leap of imagination, and yet they still failed. How sad. That's just speculation. We don't know anything for sure. We're gonna start with the first one.
That's a good question.
And we're gonna say, what a strange leap of imagination.
Reality is ruthless.
It really is. Hey, at least they gave it a chance, right? They tried to run a business. We're gonna come back to that dialogue in a little bit. Just gonna finish up exploring the basement area, and then we're gonna come back to the dialogue. We can take some money, well, some real, and some magnesium. I have 9+ items that heal morale, and I'm running out of health items. The wind howls in front of the coal chute above. And that one right there. I love this area. I love this area so much. The wall collapsed. It's inaccessible now. There's a giant bear holding a fridge in its belly. But before we go there, an ice cream maker defrosted and unplugged. And the music, the ambience is just everything. The flashlight casts a strange shadow. There is a hidden doorway here. Ándale pues, Grin. 2 rusty rifles are hitting about the piping. They look inoperable. Someone has stuck some busted guns beneath the ceiling.
A few bricks have fallen off, revealing a compartment behind the wall. It's too dark to see in.
Look, there's a hole in the wall. We can shine on the light. We can shine light on the hidden compartment.
There is, yes. And there also appears to be something inside the hole. Interesting. Do you want to take a look?
Okay, I do.
Your hand reaches deep into darkness and spiderwebs. Rummaging around, you find rusty rifles hidden away.
We can inspect the rifles.
Most of them are rusty and inoperable, like the rest, but one catches your eye. A bolt-action model with a fine wood stock, in better cosmetic order than the others.
This one looks nice, and we can take the rifle.
That's a rare sight. Seems to no longer be functional, but still a beautiful thing in its own way.
I think Kim skipped this particular line. He said, "An old Bill McGraw from the Revolution." The lieutenant notes with approval. His eyes are gleaming, and then he said the other thing. We can say, what does this mean? A rifle here.
It means there are firearms, albeit inoperable, still lying around in Martinez.
Martinez.
It's an interesting coincidence, I would say. Might come in useful in the future.
He likes this find.
Where are we? And we can look around the secret room.
Seems like an old bunker from the revolutionary period. Look at all those rifles. Must be an old weapons cache.
He points up at the rifles under the ceiling, and we can leave. Just before... No, we're done here. Then there's this machine over here. A frozen ice cream maker that's still running. Some real and a nosafet. Hey, that's pretty good. I'll take the nosafet.
2 cables are plugged into the breaker box. The red one leads off into the darkness, and the black one to the ice cream maker nearby.
Don't rip the red one out. You'll awaken the ghosts.
We can unplug the black cable.
Something close to you dies with a soft electric current.
No, I know which one is it.
Why did you do that?
I got the cables mixed up, but I don't know why I did that. Because it's black, the color of immeasurable cosmos, or we can say, I don't know why I did. I don't know why I unplugged it. I do things without any reason.
The lieutenant raises his brows, but doesn't say anything. The electric distribution board now has 1 cable missing.
We're gonna plug in the black cable.
Somewhere, a machine hums along with the current, happy and contented.
I love this dialogue. You see how much personality they give to the writing? I mean, we're talking about wires and sounds in the background, and there's just so much like love put into the writing department. We can unplug the giant red cable.
An electric sizzle. The room is slightly quieter now.
We can leave. And there's a insane mesh tank top which increases drama, and then there's an intercom wires running into the breaker box. We're gonna take the shirt that increases our physical instrument, and we're gonna put one. This one increases our trauma. We're gonna go with that. Okay, now we can inspect the gigantic bear.
You see the looming shadow of an ice bear with a strange compartment in its belly.
Ow.
The door is slightly open. The bear looks oddly realistic. Is it taxidermy?
What is this thing? It looks like a giant ice bear.
The lieutenant doesn't answer, his eyes glued to the animal. It's dark inside its mysterious belly compartment.
And we can crack open the door.
A faint waft of cold air rolls out. You hear the sound of dripping water. This is the inside of a defrosting refrigerator. The lieutenant takes a peek inside. His hand has found the holster of his gun.
We can say, relax, Kim, it's just a fridge, but I mean, we can step into Kim's shoes for a second, and we're investigating a weird basement near a place where a murder has just been committed, well, a week ago or whatever, and then we find this like gigantic bear holding a fridge in its belly. I mean, I think understandably, I can understand where Kim is coming from, but also, I mean, on the other hand, like, do you really have to reach for your gun? But we're police officers, so we can just simply look inside the refrigerator.
The shelves are empty. All you see are crumpled ice cream wrappers with the brand name, Revachol Ice City. A handwritten note has been attached to the door. The fridge is huge.
We can take the note from the door.
You pocket the note and the little fridge magnets keeping it on the door.
We can examine one of the ice cream wrappers in there.
A friendly cartoon bear smiles back at you from a glossy cellophane wrapper. It looks nothing like the fridge.
What is a giant bear-shaped fridge doing in an abandoned cellar in the first place?
Good question. It looks like an ice cream fridge.
The lieutenant reaches for one of the wrappers. He tries to study it in the darkness. So they tried to sell ice cream from this hyper carnivore?
I know. What an unfortunate marketing choice. At least it's not running them a loss anymore, now that you've unplugged the cable.
He points at the red snaky cable running from the fridge.
The fridge sits empty before you, an overindulgent wardrobe, now that the cooling systems aren't active.
An overindulgent wardrobe. Can close the door and leave. We're gonna investigate. We're gonna check the note first of all. A handwritten note you found from the giant iceberg fridge. It still bears some marks from the fruit-shaped kitchen magnets that were used to secure it to the refrigerator door.
The note is written with a blue pencil on a piece of lined office paper. The kitchen magnets have left spots on its surface.
Does it say anything interesting?
Leans closer to read the crumpled note over your shoulder.
This is tangential at best, but the lieutenant's detective instinct is still active.
We can read the note.
Someone has scribbled, S. I can't believe the off-site copy is still here. The illiterate ginger kid keeps stealing stuff from the studio, so I had to hide it somewhere safe.
The only illiterate ginger kid around here is, of course, the Kuno.
You'll find the filament memory with the off-site copy in the frozen ice cream maker. Please take it home, ASAP. It's important. I'd do it myself if I lived in a civilized place with a freezer. Take care. Sully Swaff.
We're not gonna ask who's the illiterate ginger kid, because that's probably Kuno. Do you have any idea where the frozen ice cream maker could be?
I don't know. I assume it's somewhere close to the iceberg fridge.
Didn't you see one right next to the breaker box?
I did. I wonder who wrote that note.
Someone who owns a radio computer? My guess is as good as yours, officer.
Which is to say, not very good.
Thank you, Rhetoric. And we can put the note away. I mean, I could have asked about those other things, but they're honestly just pointless, right? Because we know the answers to those things. Here it is.
This orange machine is buzzing like an old submarine. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner on top and an electric freezer that appears to be frozen shut.
And we can turn the ice cream crank.
Turning the crank feels oddly satisfying, like stirring your childhood dreams. In the distance, you hear water dripping. It's all gone now. You'll never become a poet or an entrepreneur.
We're gonna unequip the frit bag and equip the tool.
This orange machine
thingy.
is buzzing like an old submarine. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner on top.
We can try
an electric freezer
and crack
that
open the
appears to be
lid.
frozen shut.
But we got -20 because the primer is not strong enough, and +1 because we have better grip with gloves. We're gonna leave it as it is for now, because I don't want to damage this thing, and I'm just gonna wait until we have better tools. Have some real here on the floor, and lastly, a cellar window. People's feet shuffling on the street. This just indicates that we're underground, obviously, and that this has access to the street. We're gonna interact with the coal thingy.
A thick layer of coal dust covers the furnace, coloring it pitch black. Looks like this furnace has a face, and it's a face of agony.
Is it? Kim, what is this thing? Is it a furnace? Or we can look inside the furnace, or we can smear your hands with coal, or we can kick it with our foot. I think there was an achievement. Hold on. Let me just really... check very quickly. Very quickly. If there was an achievement for doing something like that. For doing something like that, I'm sorry. Yeah, bang up 5 inanimate objects. We're gonna go for that. We're gonna kick it with our foot. That damages our health.
A hollow ring echoes through the furnace. Your toe hurts.
And we can, now that we kicked it, look inside the furnace.
It's dark and grimy here. In the darkness you can hear chatter. It's coming from above. A voice or several voices talking to each other. Near the smoke chamber, upstairs.
What are you doing?
The lieutenant asks when he sees you climb halfway inside the furnace. I'm hallucinating, or maybe it's the entity. Or we can say, I hear the murder of the hangman talking. Or we can say, I'm not sure, Kim, but I think I can hear someone talking upstairs.
Wait, really?
He looks
Maybe
up.
it's coming from behind those safety curtains we saw upstairs.
Totally. Those voices I heard, maybe it's the malignant entity placed on set. It lives in a chimney. Or we can... We have a check of physical instrument to yell hello into the furnace. Before we attempt this, we're gonna put on the shirt that increases our physical instrument. We're gonna quick save, and then we're gonna try the check.
A thick layer of coal dust.
We can
covers
yell
the
hello
furnace,
into the
coloring
furnace.
it. Pitch.
Hell
Something
yeah.
breaks loose in you. A mighty bellow echoes throughout the chimney's depths. The chatter of tiny voices above suddenly cease. Then
You hear a woman's voice answer.
you've awakened the entity.
The entity. This is the police. Who's there? There's no reason for us to say we're the police. We're technically the police, but we're not the police. I summon the ghost of this doomed commercial area. Answer me, spirit, or we can say, hello, are you there? Speak to me.
Hello? Did you say anything? I can't hear you. Please come upstairs. There's a safety curtain on the second floor. I'll open it.
You hear a low rumble upstairs. The sound of a curtain being pulled aside.
I don't know if you could hear that, but with the headset, I could actually hear the sound of the metal curtains moving up on this side.
After you, officer.
Officer. And we can leave. Before we go and before we go and talk to the person on the other side of the curtains, we're gonna take this door so we can unlock an extra entry into the Doom commercial area, and then we're gonna talk to the person. We're clocking in at 1 hour and 2 minutes. Okay, wait. I think we can attempt to check right now here, right? This increases conceptualization. We're just gonna. Okay, we're gonna quick save, and then we're gonna attempt to check again.
You see a set of tire tracks in the brown slush that covers the block. The
Hell
tire
yeah.
tracks were left here by an unknown event that took place some days ago. It's a message written in the language of burnt rubber. Some of that rubber stuck to the tiles right in front of the whirling in rags. This is point A. The driver started there and then accelerated straight into the fence, left a hole big enough for the Franco-Nigerian cavalry.
Like
According to the cafeteria
guard said.
manager. The driver proceeded to back out of the yard, barely stopping before hitting the adjacent building, before heading south. Must have been in a hurry.
A car dropped through the fence.
You are correct. This is a rather motor carriage friendly city.
Somehow that makes you feel scared. You don't know why.
I think I got it. I know who did this. I know who did this. For sure. Okay, we're gonna go talk to the. No, we're gonna check the room that we missed, and then we're gonna go talk to the person on the other side of the iron curtain. Okay. I love. I don't know how to explain this properly, but I'm just gonna do it. I just love the idea of the Doom commercial area, and like this whole mystery surrounding the various businesses, various failed businesses. I just love it. I think it's incredible. It's so simple and it's so simplistic, but I just love it. And can we just take time to appreciate the concept of the ice cream company? They were trying to sell, at least that's how I understand it, they were trying to sell ice cream and derivatives and things like that. But it's just that the very like Kim said, it's not a very good marketing strategy, right? I imagine kids are the ones who buy most of the ice cream anyways. So if you're not bringing any kids to your business, then something's wrong, right? The point being, the bear was probably a very poor marketing choice. This is the radio computer.
This appears to be some kind of machine with a cube-shaped heart.
A radio computer. Just sitting here without anyone inside.
This is the Ream Civic radio computer, model RC5120, equipped with a Feld mainframe and a Ream-compatible printer.
We're gonna turn it
The
on.
machine lights up like some prehistoric animal stirring from its slumber, revealing fluorescent play and print keys on the keyboard. The hatch on the machine's central compartment is wide open. It's empty, like a beehive without its brood. The filament you have would fit perfectly inside the compartment.
We can insert the production schedule.
Like a smooth drawer, the filament slides into place. On the keyboard, the play key starts blinking. A bar of fabric right above the keyboard starts producing a soft hum. The sound of static seeps through the machine's planar magnetic driver. Have you stirred the ghost of the doomed commercial area from its rest? Could this be its dismembered heart beginning to flutter? The static gets louder, slowly filling up the abandoned hall, until a voice speaks out, crackling and old, cutting into the air.
Good afternoon. Fortress accident en rue de Saint-Ghislaine. This is East Insulindian Repeater Station 1. Please repeat. Is this the production schedule?
What are you, a machine, or are you alive? What do you call me, Fortress Accident? What's the production schedule?
The filament you have inserted into the reader.
Ah, right. Thanks for the explanation.
That was a question. Have you inserted?
Yes.
Good. Please repeat the password.
Password? Of course it would have a password. That's why there's a human administrator involved.
Password? I'm really bad at passwords. Can you give me a hint? Or we can say, it's my birthday, or we can say, this is the police. Please open this thing. the police and their ideals of enforcing their authority. Or we can say, I don't know the password.
Received. I will register this login attempt.
No, do not register it.
Don't worry. Passwords have a way of turning up sooner or later.
I love this logic check because it intertwines with reality and the fact that this is a game.
Fortress accident. Is there anything else I can do for you today?
That's all for now, and we can press off/silent.
Thank you, and goodbye.
The old lady's voice disappears along with the static.
Tiles on the cube are still smoldering, casting the framework in a soft glow.
We can press
Fluorescent
print,
nothing happens.
and we can press, we can remove the production
The
schedule,
filament slides out of its
and this is gonna
glowing
be
nest.
useful later on. But for now, we're gonna inspect this. No, we're gonna inspect this one first.
Your flashlight slides over an old green chalkboard covered in scribbles, sketches, and schemes like some ancient cave mural. Some of the writing has faded with age, but you can still make out sections here and there. Photos and drawings have been pinned to the board.
We can inspect the drawings first.
These lithe, pointy-eared creatures appear to be different types of welkins. You make out autumnal candle welkins.
Have I unmuted this? I have.
Wax-based magic.
It's unmuted.
Translucent welkins, with organs shining under their skin, and even ether welkins, hailing from the vast emptiness of sidereal space.
Who are all those creatures? Fantasies of a tortured, feverish mind?
Why the implication that someone is tortured?
You should adopt one of those welkins as your persona. No longer a mere man, but a welkin. One of the welkins, towering among the rest, appears to be different, however.
We can examine the walking. This is important.
It's Vara Hamira, a high welkin, his face white and scarred like cracked marble. This is clearly a welkin supremacist. The note says, all non-welkin races will be purged. The Haldor, the Twarg, the humans, and even headless men, all of them, purged. Imagine a world filled only with welkin, green welkin, dread welkin, and the high welkin to rule them all.
An inordinate amount of time has gone into drawing these little welkin creatures.
Of course, all of the political implications there to racism, you know. We can say, why would anyone spend so much time on this? I understand why anyone would spend so much time in this, just like the developers spend so much time in this game. Just like I've created characters, I've created games that never came to fruition, but I can understand this. You can say, who are these creatures? Who drew them? Are they real? I have so many questions. Or we can whisper, one of them is, we can whisper, one of them is a Welkin supremacist.
Mm-hmm. Political commentary. That one has a great beard too.
The lieutenant nods at the Welkin's facial hair. Well, this has been educational. Let's move on from the Welkins. We can say, who are these creatures? Who drew them?
This looks like concept art for a project. It's not really real.
Of course it's not really real. Why would anyone spend so much time on this?
Some people really like building a world, I think. Even if it's just for a game.
Hell yeah, we do. Well, this has been educational. Let's move on from the Welkins.
Just look at those details. So much effort.
And Kim is just mesmerized with the Welkins. We can inspect the photos.
The photo collage depicts barren, icy landscapes wrapped in perpetual night. You see permafrost and glacial landforms, dead trees grown in under the snow. Entire oceans have been frozen from shore to shore. There are pictures of settlements on dried up riverbeds, abandoned in a storm. Animal corpses in the dark, carcasses and bones. You see primitive oil rigs built into glaciers, boreal dvorg, yurts under the snow, great mammoth-like beasts of burden. Albeit dark and cold, this vision also feels cozy in its own way, like eggnog or morphine. A much-needed
Quite a
dislike
comparison.
from our own world. A pinned postcard reads,
We can inspect the schedule.
This is a monthly calendar from the year 50. Cryptic words like sprint, daily minimi, and GPI span the marker-drawn grid, the grand scheme of production and money.
The date is important because when we begin the game inside the Whirling in Rocks near the Hoey, there's a calendar and we can see that it's the spring of 54. And even Lena asks us that, but that means that this was abandoned 4 years ago.
Minimi stands for a mini-meeting. It's part of a bigger framework for managing work called RUN. Station 41 tried to implement it a few years ago, but failed.
We can keep reading what happened.
As time goes on, the numbers in the boxes grow rarer and rarer. The board becomes an empty snowfield in the final days. Only failure and regret dwell in this region.
Looks like they didn't make it.
The lieutenant looks at the frigid ice field of nothingness.
A note in the bottom left corner of the chalkboard says, "See the prod schedule filament for details."
This is sad. We can inspect the notes.
The handwriting is only partly legible, but you can still make out 3 slogans: "Call in, tune out," "Wirral untethered," and "Heat death of the universe."
These are potential names. This is essentially an RPG game that never came to fruition.
This old fireplace is covered in lines drawn in blue and red marker, the mesh spreading over the stone like blood vessels on alabaster skin. It looks ghostly and strangely ancient. The whole thing resembles Kadran mosaic tiles. Very pedantic.
Hold on, how do I know what Kendra and mosaic tiles are supposed to look like?
History classes, students with their textbooks open, studying the roots of our civilization. Those aquarelle blue tiles looked beautiful in the sun.
What am I looking at?
Radio frequencies, it seems. UKV 123.6, UKV 123.7.
Radio frequencies for what?
UKV unclear. It looks like a cardiovascular system split into veins and capillaries. Very advanced.
This must be part of an elaborate piece of art, of course, and we can narrow our eyes. The anatomy of the curse. We can say this must be an elaborate piece of art.
You think so? The web is comprised of radio stations, all lead back to one red heart, titled the Game Master Frequency. A note says, this one can listen in on any station it wants. They must have had massive airwidth. These things don't come cheap.
Wait, who's the game master? If it's a game, then who's playing?
Whoever decides to call in to a call-in station, it looks like. There's no way a little basement studio working here could pull anything like this off.
My God. It's as if the less money they had, the more ambitious their project became.
This is, of course, commentary on indie game development. We can say, the cost of airwidth alone must have been huge. We can say, why do you say that? We know why he says that.
Exactly. This schedule, I know doom when I see it. The company was running out of funding.
What else? And we can squint at the lines.
Nothing. It's just lines on marble. An echo from times long gone. No one has used the fireplace in ages.
I like how they take time to describe or to say something rather poetical and then imply that no one has used the fireplace in ages. And we have dialogue options with Kim.
What do you think is going on with that computer, chalkboard, and fireplace?
What do I think is going on with that computer? Sorry. Chalkboard and fireplace. Someone try to exercise the curse using technology, or we can say it looks like an undercover counterintelligence program, or we can say it's just a failed business. The only question is, what the hell were they making?
Yes, that is the question.
The lieutenant takes a step back, stapling his hands.
Like he's ready to lay out a fine theory, crafted together like a puzzle box.
It looks like one of those popular pen and paper role-playing games. Only these people were trying to automate it, make it work on radio computers.
Has anyone ever done this before?
Not to my knowledge. They make automated games in Graz, Messina, Königstein. You know, places with industry.
Not in Revachol West, among the ruins.
I can't help but to draw the connection between the development of Disco Elysium and of course what's being said here, because the developers, as far as I understand, there were a small team when they started developing the game, and they are a studio from Estonia, and of course this is like a commentary to that, right? Most of the games come out of first world places where there's industry like Canada, the States, or France, and then nobody expected this random game that came out of Estonia to be one of the most iconic RPGs in recent times, right? I mean, cool connection, in my opinion.
But I don't think anyone has attempted to create an interinsulary game before. We just don't have the technology.
And this was a role-playing game?
Indeed. Those Welkins are a dead giveaway. Role-playing people love that stuff. The world looks like a modified version of the WiiWare board game, with hit death thrown in.
Super cool. Someone should give them millions of real immediately. This game is too good to be left unfinished.
If only. How are they planning to do that? We know how with radio frequencies, but what do you think happened to the company?
No idea. They stopped filling out the schedule on the chalkboard.
Wow.
Indeed, it's ambitious and untethered from reality, but...
The lieutenant tilts his head, thinking. They were insane if they thought they could do this. Or we can say it was just a play to cheat money out of their investors' pockets. We can say the curse got him. I see no other explanation. Or we can say the world is cold and lonely. This will keep it company. Let's finish it. That's... it's equally sad and equally ridiculous. Do we have any money? Let's give them more money so they can finish it and make it even bigger. They were insane if they thought they could do this.
Yes, especially in here.
The lieutenant looks around the derelict room. The pipes howl, and a rat crosses the floor in front of your feet.
Okay, let's keep moving.
Okay. And yeah, this is the beauty, or I guess a tragedy of the Doom commercial area. It's literally what it says on the title. It's the Doom commercial area. It's just that. Aha, the entity is a person, not an entity. Who would have thought? This tray is full of dice, colorful polyhedral dice, hundreds of them. The candy dispenser has been repurposed to contain thousands of dice. Thousands. Oh, what always struck me as interesting is that the dices must not be cheap, right? To produce or to buy or whatever. And we can quick save before talking to them.
Hello, I'm Nia.
A bird-like woman sits on a throne of tools with emerald light shining through her hair.
Did you try knocking on my window? I must have missed you. I've been listening to my Melius.
She taps on her headphones.
So what kind of die are you looking for?
Could this be the malicious entity? Perhaps it's wise to go along with this masquerade for now.
Perhaps not.
She's got a direct view to the backyard. You should interrogate her about the Legion.
You must have confused me with someone else. I haven't knocked on your window. Why are you asking me about dice, and we can move on? We can say number 2 for now.
Then how did you get inside? By the south entrance? You know what? It doesn't even matter. What matters is that you're finally here. Let's talk dice. Did you have something specific in mind?
Hold on, what do you mean by Melius, I'm sorry.
Yes, a Meli is like a call-in station. You need a two-way radio to access one. That's why I have these.
She pats the headphones on the table.
Mostly, they just teach you to swear in different languages. But some of the stations can be quite interesting. I was so absorbed, I must have missed you knocking.
Why are you asking me about dice, and we can move on?
I'm a novelty dice maker. Tell me the name of your role-playing system and I'll make the die you need. That's why you're here, yes?
This is so cool.
Role-playing games? You know the one made by Fortress Accident. Does that count?
Sure, I like role-playing games and I need some dice. Or we can say, maybe I'm not sure why I'm here, honestly. Or we can say, no, I was looking for something else, and we can squint our eyes mysteriously. Answers. We can say, I'm not interested in buying dice right now. I'm a police officer. I need to ask some questions. Technically, yes. But... no, we're gonna say that. This will just make them feel uncomfortable.
Of course, I can see that. I just thought you were a police officer looking for dice. How else can I help you then?
This person means you, or no one else. Absolutely no harm. She will answer freely and honestly.
Suggestive.
No falsehoods are present. She's a novelty dice maker and doesn't have anything to hide. Ask what you need.
Hell yeah. Um, we. What do you know about the man who was lynched behind the Orlando Rex?
Nothing really. I didn't know him.
Makes sense.
Who cares about the dead body? We might be dealing with a malignant entity here.
The lieutenant looks at his notebook, then the woman under the large window.
Your window looks directly onto the courtyard. You're saying you didn't see or hear anything unusual last Sunday evening?
I'm sorry, Detective, but as you know, I usually have my headphones on when I'm working. It shuts out most of the daily ruckus behind my window.
We have no reason to suspect her because we were knocking on her door and she couldn't hear us, and that's literally next to her. I don't think she was gonna notice that they were hanging someone outside her place. And you never took your eyes off the work to look out the window?
I might have, but in this case, all I would have seen is my own reflection staring back from the darkness.
It's light here, but dark in the yard at night.
It's really hard to make anything out in the yard when it's dark outside. Besides, I rarely get up to look out the window when I'm in the zone.
Really, Ruckus?
Well, there's always something going on in the Whirling's backyard.
She stops to try and come up with an example. Oh, sorry.
During daytime, there are usually those kids. And lately, I've been seeing a lot of drunk workers hanging about. Must be because of the strike.
She's heard of the murder, but did not see it, sire.
Sire.
But I never saw anyone during that fateful Sunday night, I'm afraid.
Okay, do you often work on Sunday nights?
It's an odd profession, making dice for people. But I like it, and I prefer doing this to sitting at home.
I see. Thank you for your answers, and we can conclude.
She nods.
Anything else, officer?
Okay, no, we're gonna say, how did you become a dice maker?
How did I become one? It was a business decision. I was a regular jeweler at first, but that's an unfocused field with too much competition. Some of my friends were role players. They asked me to make some polyhedral dice out of cobalt.
That's so cool.
That was my first order. I grew it from there.
That's so cool. Do you like role-playing games yourself?
Not especially. I like working with rare materials and a steady pay. And role players as customers? They're nice people.
Some of those nice people have big bucks to spend on novelty items.
They do. They do. Okay, I'd like to order a die from you.
Of course. Tell me what you have in mind.
We can say, do you know the Whirl Untether setting? I want a die for that. We can say, do you have any curse dice? Or we can say, tell me about your most extraordinary dice. Or we can say, I'm sorry, I don't actually know what die I want. Or we can say, just a normal die for me, please. Very regular. Or we can say, I'm looking for something to help with my work. We can say, actually, I need more time to think about it. We can say, do you have any? No, wait. We're gonna ask first about the most extraordinary dice.
A star that fell from the firmament? Those cost more than 7 real.
Shit.
Are you sure?
No, I'm afraid it's not worth it. I'm sorry.
Alright, maybe some other die then?
Just no. Do you have any curse dice?
What do you mean by curse?
Abracadabra, perish like this word. We can say, as cursed as my life. We can say, as cursed as this commercial area. As cursed as my life.
Alright, how about I surprise you? Come back in 8 hours with 7 real, and I'll give you your cursed die.
Actually, I need to think about it first.
Maybe
we can back
you
up
have
first.
some other ideas for dice?
I can say, how about just a very regular die?
A normal die? I'm a novelty dice maker. I don't make normal dice.
What do you do then?
Polyhedral dice. Dice that have more than 4 sides. Octahedrons, trapezohedrons, dodecahedrons. But also barrel dice and teetotum bows. Come on now, be a little creative.
I can't imagine but to think that that is like a like directly the writers telling the players like to come on, experiment a little with the dialogue options. Actually, I think it's pretty funny. Let me show it to you. There's a an achievement for picking quote unquote boring dialogue options. I'm gonna check my stats because I believe I've picked a few of those, but even the name of the achievement, it's taunting the players, right? And unbelievably boring. Fuck, say 7 incredibly boring things. it's pretty funny. I'm sorry, I don't actually know what die I want. We're gonna say I'm looking for something to help with my work.
I think I have just the right one for you.
She opens the top drawer of her work desk and takes something out. 2 polyhedrons, red and blue, are cradled in her palm. I don't get it.
You're a police officer, right? Here, catch.
She tosses
They're
you
a
the
gift from
dice.
me.
A beautiful woman tossing you a gift. Whatever you do, don't overthink it.
And we have -1 to hand-eye coordination because we're totally overthinking it. Okay, I actually like how the system works because logic says don't overthink it, and we have a -1 point because we're totally overthinking it, right? So the only reason that comes to mind how we can avoid overthinking about it would be, about the dice, it would be if we failed the logic check, which we didn't. It's a 42%, I just hope we catch it.
You
No.
overthink it. Your hands can't agree what to do, and the 2 dice drop to the floor and scatter in opposite directions, like pearls from a broken string. The blue one disappears down the pit.
No
in the
way,
center
I
of the
lost the dice.
Ah, down the drain, like your career. I apologize, officer. That comment was unnecessary.
I can pick up the red die.
That one is made of bloodstone with a lapis lazuli inlay. The other one was the inverse. They were a set, you see, but now the set is broken.
I'm sorry.
It's a shame. They might have brought you luck. You definitely need luck in Martinez.
Is she pitying you? Good God, she's pitying you.
This is so uncomfortable.
Now, was there anything else?
Okay, we're gonna order a
Of
die,
course.
and we're
Tell
gonna
me what you
order
have in
what was the one I was gonna order? A curse
What
dice,
do you
right?
mean by
As cursed as my
Alright.
life, it's
How
a
about
deal.
I
We
say
can order it.
this?
We're gonna
See you
come
in
back
8
with
hours
money.
then. Was
We
there
can say,
anything
hey,
else?
where are we? Anyways, what is this place? And we can look around the room.
We're inside the chimney of an old central furnace. It's strange, I know.
She looks at the ruddy bricks that make up the walls. Even though they've been repainted, there are still signs of coal black soot here and there.
But when I arrived here, all the other rooms were taken, so I had to build myself a makeshift home.
This is so
Besides,
cool.
I don't really have to pay any rent here, so that's a plus.
I mean, in the context of Disco Elysium, of course.
Plaisance was right. There's an entity living in the chimney. You should ask her about the curse.
We're not gonna ask her about the
Create
curse.
here.
The lieutenant looks around the spacious room, its ceiling fading into shadows above. We can say, I've heard this place is cursed. Did you know that? People call it the Doom commercial area. Or we can say, do you know what happened to the other tenants? Everyone else is gone.
More or less. Are you interested in anyone specific?
She adjusts the yellow scarf that covers her hair. The novelty dice maker's pronouns are her, she, her. I forgot that. I thought they used. I thought she used they them for some reason.
Oh, quite a lot of them spring to mind.
Okay, we're gonna start at the beginning. There used to be a hair salon here, right?
Yes, I think it was called Androgynous Orlando or something similar.
That's the name.
They weren't a big hit around here. Turns out that working class men don't like genderless haircuts. They're scared of that word.
Totally.
A bit of experimenting every now and then isn't bad.
That is true.
It's not about the haircut. It's about the
confidence.
Yeah, I think it's about the fact that the word genderless, it's implied there, right? Like somehow a genderless haircut is taking away their masculinity. That's the way I interpret it. That may not be my topic. I mean, I don't know if I'm entitled to say anything about that, because I don't think I'm an androgynous person. I don't know, and I've never felt threatened by a haircut. So, what's wrong with a little bit of experimenting? The customer should have been more open-minded. Yeah, that's true, but no one is forced to do anything. We can say, I would never let anyone androgynous touch my hair, not even if my life depended on it. We can be a little bit squeamish and bit of an asshole there. We can say, I guess I'm a simple man. I don't really have any opinions on hair, so we can imply the first option.
I guess it just wasn't the time yet.
It's never the time yet, is it? We can say, what happened to the gym?
It wasn't merely a gym, it was Artemitep's boxing club. A community project created to steer at-risk youth away from drugs and crime.
That is a pretty noble cause. And who was Artemitep?
A kind man from Zemsk. I heard he had some trouble with the law when he was younger, and that's why he wanted to start the gym, as his way of giving back.
That's so sweet. Maybe that's what Kuno needs, a community-centric boxing club.
Kuno? Who's Kuno?
He's sort of the king around here. We can say he's a little ginger gremlin who likes to defile dead bodies. Or we can say, indeed, who is Kuno? Your guess is as good as mine. We're gonna say number 2. I think she knows that Kuno likes to play with things in the backyard.
Oh yes, you mean the kid with the sailor's mouth? Yes, I've heard him yelling profanities in the backyard.
She looks out the window. It's oddly quiet there at the moment.
I think it would take more than a gym to help that kid.
How did that community project work out? Or we can say, judging from the kids I've met so far, it didn't really work, did it?
It didn't. If anything, it made the youth situation in Martinez even worse. At some point, someone started a rumor that the punching bag downstairs was full of amphetamines.
It's not really full of that. No one would store their drugs like that.
Would they? I don't know.
Eventually, the coalition took away the funding and the club went bankrupt. This was a few years ago. It's gotten much more peaceful around the plaza ever since.
I don't know if the businesses went bankrupt at the same time, but the RPG studio people, they went bankrupt 4 years ago, because 4 years ago they stopped writing on the schedule page. But maybe the boxing gym went bankrupt before that, or perhaps after that, because it looks like in better condition than the rest of the commercial area, right? We can say, so what's up with the broken windows?
Oh, this one's a mess.
She sighs.
There used to be a company that promised to repair windows 24 hours a day. What could go wrong with this one, right? Turns out the business was actually set up as a front for an illicit group that was producing snuff milias. Who would have guessed?
What's the snuff milieu?
We're supposed to know, right? That's an encyclopedia check.
And they never cleaned up the debris either. Now it's just littering the hallway and I have no idea how to get rid of it on my own.
Cool, very cool. About the debris, but what's a snuff milieu?
It's a sub-rosa radio station that broadcasts real murders with real victims.
Oh.
Some people pay good money to get off on it.
I think the game tries to stir up the idea that maybe it's like drugs or whatever, and then it like gives you the twist, right? Like because Encyclopedia asks us what is that, right? Encyclopedia doesn't even know what it is, and if it was a drug, I think Encyclopedia would know that.
Nothing changes in her tone as she says that, as if it's just another piece of information to lay out for the world.
Don't worry, the ACP has a separate division that deals exclusively with unlicensed sub-roses. This isn't our problem.
Good luck with that. It's not easy catching those perpetrators.
Okay, I found creepy mannequins.
There used to be a fashion atelier here, but I have forgotten the head designer's name. They were doing well for a couple of years until the insect rights activists came.
Insect rights activists? What in the name of? We're gonna say I didn't know insect activists had any rights or activists. We're gonna say insect right activists. What in the name of?
The atelier produced a certain collection that used chitin among the materials. Apparently chitin is made in the Occident, where it's extracted from beetle wings. And you know how all kinds of political movements are big in the Occident. The activists shut down the biggest chitin supplier, which of course caused the price to skyrocket. And, naturally, all the most fashionable tastemakers refused to be seen in chitin from then on. The atelier went bankrupt before they could finish the collection.
That's so sad. I'm glad that someone took care of the little guys. I like insects, and we cannot. I don't like insects. I don't know what to say regarding this, because we can say, but insects don't have any brains or feelings. But I don't feel... How do I explain this? I mean, I don't necessarily feel like, oh, let's kill all the insects or whatever. No, not necessarily. Or you can say, they got what they deserve. Making clothes out of beetle wings is a terrible idea. I guess I don't agree with this either. It's just like, I mean, as long as you don't extinct an animal. But on the other hand, that brings us to the leather situation, right? In that there are like alternative materials to make leather, for example, bags or jackets or things like that. And I do support that instead of using like actual animal leather. We can say I'm glad that someone took care of the little guys. I like insect. I think that's more like in the middle.
Really?
She looks at the window still, where a dead fly is lying on its back, legs curled up in a bow tie. Anyway, we can say, what's with the rotor blades and skis?
They were made by a company called Slipstream. After they pivoted from making rotor blades to skis, their chief executive took off on a vacation with all their money.
She rests her chin on her hand with an impish smile.
Honestly, I think it's quite funny. I think he's still sending out holiday transmissions from Tulula or Tiumotiri or Hashtkor or wherever he is.
Interesting. What do these transmissions say?
The usual, I imagine. That he's been thinking up all kinds of new business plans and can't wait to get started on them just as soon as he returns.
Her smile widens before she sees the lieutenant's face behind you.
Men like that are a curse.
The lieutenant is stern.
Sure, but Slipstream is history now. All their remaining assets got seized by the bailiffs in 47. I have no idea why those skis and blades are still lying around in the house. Not much use now, I guess.
They were just the props. Why return them?
Good question.
Maybe you could make a sword out of one. No, wait, forget it. It would take too long.
Okay. We can say, I found the building's intercom, but it's not working.
Oh, right. I hope you didn't try to ring me.
I actually did.
None of those doorbells work, including mine. I'm still in the middle of connecting the wires. Sorry about the confusion.
It's fine.
The doorbell with the empty name card must belong to her then.
So you're telling me that the doorbell with the empty card name was yours?
That's right. I haven't even written my name there. As I said, it's quite useless right now. It doesn't work yet.
I was wondering about the whirling in rags. Is it part of the same building complex?
You could say so. Both houses were built at the same time and under the East Delta Commerce Center project. That explains why you can call the whirling from the intercom, albeit I doubt that anyone responds.
If the whirling is part of the same building, then it's part of the Doom commercial area. The darkness of this place is there, too.
It's an interesting thought. I saw a name, East Delta Pinball, on the doorbell.
That's right. I haven't even written my name there. As I said, it's quite useless right now. It doesn't work yet.
Oh, I chose the wrong option.
Right. It used to be a gaming arcade. This is an ancient failure. Before my time. I'm not surprised, however. My advice:
She
don't
raises her
base your
finger.
business on a fad. Hypnotism, florography, trick track, especially pinball.
Agreed. Pinball is the worst.
A strange thing happened when I tried calling a company named Slipstream SCA. Someone answered.
It can't be true. They don't work here anymore. They've been gone for years. Are you sure it was Slipstream SCA? Was it a woman? Maybe it was Plaisance from the bookstore.
She said she was from Tricentennial Electrics.
Tricentennial Electrics?
There's a moment before she recognizes the name.
It used to be a major electric company 100 years ago. Are you sure it wasn't just some kids playing a prank on you?
No, it was something else. It was eerie. It was too real to be just a prank. Either we're dealing with a professional actress, or whatever happened, keep your cool. It's probably better to admit that it was a harmless prank.
You're right. I probably just got made fun of. Or we can say, no, it was something else. Something eerie, and we can narrow our eyes. Or we can say, may have been some sort of rare electrical anomaly. We don't know that. To me, it seems like a recorded message. But we're gonna say you're right. I probably just got made fun of.
Oh, the kids these days. We were just one of them, and now they're terrorizing us. No solidarity.
Okay, I have a few more questions about the building.
Sure, I'm listening.
There was a. Okay, no. We're gonna ask first. Did someone here make stuffed animals? I saw mounts lying around.
You mean Mr. Fabron, the taxidermist?
Fabron.
No, he mostly just did drugs. Anything else?
I found a strange machine.
Fortress Accident, the radio game studio.
She closes her eyes as some remnant of a memory lights up her face.
They were an interesting bunch. We talked about role-playing systems every now and then. Once, I even saw two of them get into fisticuffs over Wirral. They certainly took their work very seriously, even if they seemed to be chronically liberal with their schedules.
What do you mean liberal? What happened?
The usual. They ran out of money and couldn't get the project done on time.
What went wrong?
Well, I did hear them talking at times.
She looks at the hallway as if she can still hear them chit-chat behind her curtains on a cigarette break.
They seemed to believe they were historical individuals on some grand quest.
She sounds almost mocking when she says that.
From what I've seen so far, the project did look quite impressive.
Yes, but when the money started to run out, they just began to complain a lot about capitalism. You know, how the markets are rigged to keep out new businesses and so on.
I'm gonna stop and say another thing. This is, of course, the developers of Disco Elysium. I think they're very inclined to communist and socialist ideals. They thanked Engels and Marx in their Game Awards speech, right? So I think this is a little reflective of them, right? I think they like making fun of themselves in this particular dialogue option. At least that's how I see it. I'm probably wrong.
In the end, they just didn't get it done. They didn't have enough willpower to produce something truly historic and to show up to work on time.
Well, showing up to work on time is incredibly hard, or we can say that's too bad. I would have supported them. The project looked great, or we can say you're right. They should have just tried harder. They had everything needed to succeed. That's not true. That's definitely not true. We're gonna say that's too bad. I would have supported them.
Not the wisest decision. You would have lost all your savings.
I wouldn't spend all my savings on them, but you are right. If I would have spent money on them and the project would not have been completed, I would I wouldn't have wasted my money, but I wouldn't be able to see the project come into fruition.
The result is 1 on a 20-sided die.
That's a very cool perception check.
The dice is black and filled with little silvery flakes, like snowfall.
Anything else?
I can say there was a terrifying taxiderm bear in the cellar.
Oh boy, the fabled Revachol ICT. You're in for a treat here.
Pun intended. She smiles and leans closer, hand on her knees, like a stand-up comedian ready to tell a story.
The place was owned by two guys who had some rather innovative ideas about marketing. The bear was one of them. Now ask me about their other ideas.
Indeed. What were the other ideas?
Alright, what about the other ideas?
There was really just one. And it involved picking out the prettiest girls in the neighborhood and paying them 20 cents per hour to man the booth.
That's a terrible idea.
And by man the booth, I mean slump behind the counter with a face that could maim you if you ever dared to disturb their bored magazine browsing.
She leans back, disapproving.
Sounds like she really didn't like those girls.
Like the girl from the store, Frit.
Fritte does the same thing.
There's a thing, right, with the pronunciation, because I said Frit, because I don't know how to... Look, I don't really know. I just said Frit, right? But reaction speed said Fritte. It's very interesting. There's a weird comment by some... strange name. I think it's Russian. Looks Russian. I don't know. And there's the same thing. I'm gonna ignore that because I don't know what it means. Hope it's not something malicious, but I don't know what that means. I can say I know a girl just like that. She works in Fritte as a cashier and she's not particularly friendly. Or we can say, what did they expect? 20 cents hour is dog's pay. I'm surprised they showed up to work at all. Understandably so. That's an award-winning idea. How else do you choose people around you? We can say, I don't have an opinion on employing teens. I just want to know, did it work out? Or we can say, I'm gonna agree, and we're gonna say, what did they expect? 20 cents per hour is stocks pay.
Oh, but they did. They did show up to work, and not alone. There were also acne-ridden girlfriends and gorilla-like boyfriends loitering near the ice cream stand.
But what are they gonna do? I mean, if someone's taking that job, and especially around here in the district of Vardenais, I like to believe that they need the job, right? Nobody shows, but very few people show up to work because they genuinely like their jobs, right?
And they already had the bear.
She closes her eyes as if remembering something painful. What about the bear?
The bear.
She repeats, pressing thumbs into her temples like trying to suppress a headache. It didn't work out?
Of course not. The bear was terrifying. No one wants ice cream guarded by a hostile apex predator. To make matters worse, the fridge didn't work too well either, and half the ice cream came out malformed and partially melted.
That sucks. Minus that, I think I will buy ice cream out of a giant taxiderm bear.
Eventually, Ravishore Ice City lost the price war to its rival, Glacé 5000. Glacé 5000 sold caramel sundaes for only 5 cents a piece, out of regular fridges.
Not solemnly. It's the market doing its job. We can say, I'm sure the bear was doing its best. Or we can say, the bear was scary. Every time I saw that bear, I felt scared like it would become alive any moment now. Or we can say, I killed the bear. We unplugged it.
You did what?
She rolls her swivel chair an inch closer to you, unsure whether she heard you right. I had to kill the bear to become the bear. We can say, I murdered it with my own bare hands. I laid it to rest. It is my trophy now. Or we can say, I unplugged the fridge to help Revachol Ice City cut their losses. I had to kill the bear to become the bear.
I can see.
She nods, eyeing you up and down.
The taxidermist who made it said it was his vision beast. He said he met his vision beast while high on desiccants. Called it Megatherian.
Okay.
Sounds cool.
Megatherian.
Megatherian.
She
A
not
mega wild beast.
a mega wild beast. What is a mega wild beast?
It's an imaginary beast that guides you through life
Okay.
by telling you to do more drugs, mostly.
All these 3 dialogue options are insane. I don't do drugs. Or you can say I do drugs. I've got a vision beast myself. You can say I don't have a comment on drugs. all the 3 of them are unnecessary and weird. I mean, if we say I don't do drugs, it implies that we do drugs. If I say I do drugs, it's a lie because I'm not a drug addict anymore. We can say I don't have a comment on drugs.
Understandable. You shouldn't do them. You're a police officer after all. Anyway, now you know the story of the fallen ice cream empire.
She seems almost sad, finishing the story. Some dust beams swirl in the afternoon air. Her eyes follow it idly.
Anything else? Another failed
It's
business,
5:40
perhaps?
p.m.
I've been here for a long time.
We can say I have my questions about the intercom. No, I don't. We can say actually I had other questions.
Good. I hope it clarified things a bit. What else?
I've heard this place is cursed. Did you know that people call it the Doom commercial area?
I've heard the stories, but I don't think those stories are true.
Plaisance is I don't know how to talk. Plaisance is the one who sent me. She's convinced that the place is swarming with malicious energies.
Plaisance, the bookshop lady? I've heard that her business is doing rather well. Have the energies spared her somehow?
We could say Plaisance is a wise woman. She has Semini's trinkets protecting her against the curse. Or we can say, actually, the bookstore isn't doing that well. There are hardly any customers, and she has to exploit her own daughter to keep the company going, which is true. It's quite sad, but it's true. Or we can say, the curse is just biding its time before it strikes again. Sooner or later, everyone will fail, even her. Or we can say, I don't know why the bookstore hasn't gone bankrupt yet. That's what I'm here to investigate. We're gonna go with number 2.
Alright. But it's not just the bookstore that's still up and running. What about the whirling in rags? Some people say it's part of the building complex.
You're right, the whirling doesn't really look like it's cursed.
And then there is me.
She sighs, looking at her messy work table. All kinds of tools lie there, scattered from knives to carving files to wire cutters.
I've been here for 14 years.
That's a long
selling
time.
novelty dice to role-playing enthusiasts. Not exactly a million-real business idea, yet somehow I've survived despite the talk of malicious energies. Strange, isn't it?
It's not strange.
Maybe it's just because she's so talented that she's been able to woo the curse.
Plaisance think it's because you're the source of it. A malignant entity, or we can say it's because you're competent and dedicated to your craft. The curse doesn't affect people like you. The curse will get you. Have no doubt about it. It just doesn't care about earthly earthly time frames. I'll be the first to admit there are many inconsistencies in this so-called curse.
I was just about to ask.
She leans forward.
What do you think? Do you think the curse is real?
She leans forward in her chair to study your face.
Time has come to face the source. Fear not, for the forces of the universe are supporting you in this psychic quest.
I think it still might be you that's causing this. We can narrow our eyes very mysteriously. I'm starting to see that there is no curse, only business decisions and natural market fluctuations. Or we can say, honestly, I'm not sure. This world is a puzzling place.
Exactly. Truth is always so disappointingly mundane and boring.
I'm gonna screenshot that. But that is true.
But I'm glad we got this sorted out. Anything else I can help you with today?
That's all she has to say on the subject. She's been thorough and truthful, as far as we can see. Plaisance is not going to like what you have to tell her.
I know. We can pass a shiver check of 2 to see why hasn't her business failed. We're not gonna pass the shivers check. Not at all. We can report back to Plaisance about our findings, and we can pick up the dice in 7 hours. We're gonna quick save here. I don't know if we should ask about the dice or not. I'm sorry, about why her business hasn't failed yet. I don't think we should. I mean, there's no how do I explain this? There's no, in my mind, there's no reason to ask why her business hasn't failed. I mean, of course, for the people that maybe it's the first time they're playing this game, or maybe that they truly don't get it. I mean, it's good, but I mean it in my playthrough, as in right now. I don't think there's a reason for her to ask why her business hasn't failed. I mean, we clearly understand that there are marketing and I guess just business related decisions to consider, right? Or I mean, technically speaking, I mean, if you think about it, just think about it for a second. She makes novelty dice for role-playing games. That's an oddly specific business, just like any of the business we've encountered so far. Like right there is so oddly specific, or they can be so quirky. They just have something that makes them stand out. So I think there was a dialogue option before to tell her you're dedicated to your craft and you know how to work around the market or something like that. But I mean, ignoring that for a second, well, that's true, right? She was a jeweler. She saw the opportunity to create dice for RPG players, and I mean, just look at the people who live off making art commissions online. I tried that for a while and didn't truly work. But there are people who genuinely live on that, right? And not safe for work commissions and things like that. I mean, people are willing to pay for that stuff. Same with the dice, I like to think. I just think she made a wise decision. She saw a market opportunity and she went with it. And Plaisance, you're not gonna like what I'm gonna tell you.
You're alive and well. Don't keep me waiting now.
She's looking
What's
for
in there?
She's looking
in
for the
that
right
dark
expression.
Sarcophagus.
The dark sarcophagus, when we can pause dramatically.
Yes. How was it?
Tell her how ghastly it was. You know it's what she wants to hear.
I am in a position to give out personal opinions, so we can say honestly, a dumb, nothing to see there, just heaps of garbage. Someone should let the sunshine in. We can say it was a Chanel house of failed businesses, enterprises leeching life energy from this bookstore.
I knew it. Oh, such horrors that have been thrust upon us. But what else did you find? Did anything survive? No, of course not. Have you located the entity?
I talked to the entity you told me about. Her name is Nia, and she's a novelty dice maker.
A novelty dice maker?
Her eyes wide
Well,
open.
spit it out. Why does she need the dice? For some kind of sorcery? Sometimes they use the ankle bones of sheep.
Okay. She's not a sorceress or some malicious entity. She's a businesswoman like you. We can say no, mom. I have felt her aura. She's not the one to blame for this course. We can say she may be involved, but I don't have a way to question the malignant entity further. We're gonna go with the first one.
I don't understand.
I don't know how to talk.
If it's not her, then where is the source of the doom? How did she explain the curse?
She looks perplexed.
The narrative she's built herself, it does need tearing down. She's squeezing on the pendant too tight. A drop of blood in her palm.
There's definitely some trauma there.
Just don't say you don't have any answer yet. The uncertainty is killing her. To hell with it. Perchance you ought to just lie, sire.
I like how the personalities provide you with many options and many suggestions, but it doesn't necessarily force you into anything, right? They just put information on the table for you, and then they go like, well, do what you want with that. And I really like it. We can say she says there's no curse because there are too many inconsistencies, or we can say the sources in the taxidermy shop, he became involved in arts darker than taxidermy and brought void spirits down upon this place. So we can say, honestly, I don't have an answer yet. There are still leads to be followed, like that strange radio computer thing. Or we can say there is another entity more malignant pulling the strings in Martinez. Perhaps in my travels I will cross paths with it.
Too many inconsistencies. What kind of talk is that?
The woman scoffs at you with an audible snort.
Good luck persuading her. Some people can rationalize anything.
They do. People in our world rationalize hateful and idiotic ideas to a point where it's honestly quite ridiculous. First, you're one of the inconsistencies, or we can say, as I said, she's a novelty dice maker. Her business has been up and running for a long time now.
Yes, because her business consists of the psychic leech that's been feeding the curse.
Red blotches appear on her skin.
I see that you've fallen for her manipulation, Detective. The investigation is over. I just hope that you haven't made anything worse by going in there. Thank you for nothing. Please do buy some books or be on your way.
She concludes, tucking the pendant away in her blouse.
Wow. Total psychic collapse between you two right now. There was never any other way this could have gone. She's just too far gone into her own mind.
That is sadly true.
I am sorry we had to disappoint you, ma'am.
He turns to you.
Can we go now?
Farewell for now, book peddler. We have an extra point, and if I remember, wait, I made some notes here on my phone. If I remember correctly, there was a skill I needed for the corpse inspection. Okay, I wrote down logic, which is our signature skill. We have trauma, composure, shivers, physical instrument, visual calculus, volition, and authority. Volition. What does volition do? I forgot. Hold yourself together. Keep your morale up. It's just morale based, right? Authority. I know what that does. Visual. I don't know if I should invest it in visual calculus or shivers. Where's visual calculus? It's right here. We can bump it up to 6, or we can bump shivers to 3. Raise the hair on your neck, tune into the city. Should we increase it, or should we go with logic? Maybe we can get that up a little bit, or maybe rhetoric. Right now, if we wanna inspect the body, we might as well put it into something else. We're gonna go with between volition, shivers. I don't remember if there was anything related to reaction speed regarding the body. We're gonna leave that as it is for now. And with that, we conclude the mystery of the Doom commercial area, which is disappointing and sad, right? It's just a commercial area filled with incredibly quirky businesses that fail for one reason or another, partially because of how the economy works, of how the market works, right? For example, the person who had the ice cream business, I mean, their competitors were selling better ice cream in a normal looking fridge for way less money. I mean, how can you compete with that, right? And it sucks, and it's pretty bad, but it's just how the market is, right? There's no beating around the bush. As for the other businesses, well, they fail for one reason or another, and like Nia said, the inconsistencies are there, right? She's an inconsistency and Plaisance is another inconsistency. For example, Plaisance has, I think, some funding thanks to her husband. I think the husband was putting money into the bookstore as well. So there's an inconsistency. She has maybe a backup to keep the business running, right? And Nia found a way to survive by taking an opportunity, a business opportunity, right? By making novelty dices. And for example, the Whirling Rocks is still a hotel and a cafeteria. So it's just a better business decision, right? People are gonna pay to sleep there because I don't know. It's a commercial district. Well, it's supposed to be a commercial district. It's the coastside district, so I mean, it's the only place where you can rent a room, right? And it's a place where you can get a meal and where you can get a drink. All of the components are there, so that's the reason why the Whirling Racks didn't fail or hasn't failed. I mean, Harry was right. There was an option where we could say, but people are struggling to pay their tabs. But not everyone, right? The business is still afloat. If it wasn't profitable, it would have closed a while ago. Maybe it's in the process of becoming inoperable, but maybe not, right? I mean, there are a lot of customers. Lena, the cryptozoologist, is there. They have enough money, I assume, to pay the cook. They have enough money to replenish, I don't know, bottles, the spirits, to make cocktails, to buy more alcohol. And if I imagine they buy more alcohol, I like to imagine they are properly selling some stuff. So, any rate, long story short, different circumstances, different types of businesses, different decisions were made. And I think here's when I'm gonna wrap it up. There are a lot of things to do. It's just a mostly fresh playthrough. I could talk to Joyce. I could try and take the body down. I could talk to the veterans about their game of petanque. And I could try and get into the Harbor District to talk to Everard Clare. But it's 1:30 p.m. and I am sorry, and I'm pretty tired. I slept an hour last night. I was with my partner in a pretty cool place in my hometown, and we stayed up until 4 a.m. Then I dropped them off, and then I drove home, and then I slept like an hour, and then I went back to work. And I feel pretty bad. Not only physically, emotionally, I also feel like shit. But here we are playing Disco Elysium. And you know something? The ambient music, like those little horns in the distance, they're so haunting and so calming at the same time. That's why I love this game, like the ambience in the world. But at any rate, I think that's where I'm gonna end the stream. Nobody's really watching it. If you're watching the replay, hi, thank you for watching. If the camera looks weird, I think you already know why. But anyway, thank you so much for watching this. I'll try to stream more Disco Elysium in the future. I love this game. I'll try to do that. And well, nothing else. Thank you for tuning in. Consider playing Disco Elysium if you haven't. I purposely didn't spoil any of the story regarding the hangman or the detective's identity or anything like that, or context in general. We just did a side quest. So if you haven't played this game is amazing. Seriously, buy it. If you're into Planescape Torment or New Vegas, consider playing this. It's really, really good. And thank you for watching. Take care. Todo